There's nothing outside of you that isn't triggering something unseen inside. The end. And our desire to keep the blame on the outside is our lack of willingness to look inside. I want you to see things in terms of trapped energy or free magical stardust, okay? That in your body, everything going on in the world that triggers you is triggering trapped energy. In your body is a bunch of trapped energy. Now you might go, what about what's going on in the other countries where well, weirdly, there's other countries that exists inside of you. And when you use what's going on in other countries to stay in your shrunkenness, you continue the trapped energy. And when I listen and I meditate, no matter what, I just listen and I notice little energies, little jagged pain, little feelings, little cut open things, little all kinds of different stuff. And I just listen and I watch as it goes from a trapped, stuck energy, and it could be shards, it could be trauma. And if you're in a place where you're meditating and you're feeling shards, that is so good. Just stay there. I get what you're talking about, Sage. Rusty shards. This is my favorite garbage pail kid. You're just sitting there and these shards are just opening up and you just feel like almost nails in you and you can feel this pain. It almost feels like glass. If you feel that, you're already seeing it, which means you're the observer of it more than it. Now, here's the thing. If you start to feel shards and then you go to an old addiction or you go, what's going on Facebook, or you recoil, then the shards win. But if you stay present, the shards start being softer and softer and softer. And then you start to realize that there is no outside at all. And it stops being this kind of trapped, stuck energy. And the more I just look at it, it starts to open. But to handle this time, you have to meditate. You have to listen. Like if you're in a place where you're feeling a bunch of trauma, don't live in your ego very much. Like you might feel your ego, but don't let your ego run your decisions, right? Don't let your ego that goes, okay, I feel off, so I'm going to overeat. Okay, I feel off, so I'm going to find someone else to complain to immediately. I feel off, so I'm going to do an addictional thing. I want to offer you that this is an amazing time to merge with the now, to fully merge with Source, to open your heart and just listen. And anything that comes up at first is coming up stuck, so it's more painful. But if you listen for a couple hours, it starts to be like, I don't know, it can hurt. It can be off. You can feel the trauma, but you also feel a space available in you that can see it, right? So then you start noticing that everything outside of you also exists within inside of you. Like, check this out. You can close your eyes right now, and I want you to notice the you that looks at you, like what's coming up for me. Like right now, notice that, right? Just notice what's coming up for you in you. What do I got to work through? What am I triggered by? Whatever. Now I want you to think of other people, other places, right? Other people that you're like, when you say a sentence like, they need to work on it. They need to do it. Okay. And picture that they're working on it. Now, all of what you see exists inside of you. Everything you see exists inside of you. But you might have tricked yourself when you closed your eyes there to think there's an inside of you and an outside of you. But the truth is, everything that's truly outside of you is not your responsibility. But what we've done is we've taken what's outside of us and we've made kind of a diorama of the outside inside of us, and we think that that's outside when it's inside. Did that make sense? There is no outside of you for you to worry about or work on. I need you to really gather that. The outside can trigger your diorama of what you think is the outside, but it's really the inside. But if you go, okay, I'm doing this, but what about them? You're already creating a them that you think is outside, but it's inside. That is a separate thing. I hope you get what I'm saying. Deidre's in. But if you meditate long enough, it starts to go, okay, here's the me. And then it goes, I wish other people knew that. And you go, well, wait, who's these other people that I'm picturing don't know this? Who are the other people that I am envisioning don't get this? And it starts to go there too and work on what it seems like is them, but is actually still you. I'm still seeing other people in my mind. Check this out. Close your eyes and see the world healing. And then notice that there might be an outside of that world still with your eyes closed. That's still you. Undo the fake boundaries. Do you notice that you might have an edge to the earth in your mind, or an edge to the universe, or an edge to do you get what I'm saying? There's an edge that stops. Go past that. Receive from the all that isness right now. Undo this separate self that says, I work on me, I wish they'd work on them, because the them you're talking about is still you. Just undo this me and them separation that exists in your head and make it all the same, one giant ocean. And then when you get to the edge of the ocean, go past that. And when you like go to in a timeline, eventually it'll be fine later. Go past that, like undo boundaries completely. Just swim in the all that isness and notice there is no energy that's separate in your mind or in your body. There's no such thing. You can't find the line. The line you've created is an arbitrary line. And then you've lived your life with that illusion of separation, which has caused you to feel survival. Yeah, if you're triggered by anyone else, they only exist inside of you, right? People that are actually outside of you don't trigger you at all. They trigger your diorama of them on the inside, your little avatar of them on the inside, where you've created that this is separate from me. Are you getting this? So what have you done? You've created a belief, like picture that you're the whole house and you think that you're just this one sitting here in the house. So you've created this separation that isolates yourself from yourself. There's no other them. And if you allow yourself to watch as the trapped energy that's inside of you that you call them, because you have a trapped energy inside of you that's them. Have you ever seen any of what your life is without that illusion? Do you understand this? Have you ever seen any of your life without the illusion? Because we all are sitting here going, there's a me and there's a them. But when we close our eyes, we see a me and a them. How could you see a them when your eyes are closed? Oh, that's because it's inside of your mind. So it's still you. There's a me and there's a them. There's a Congress in here that you're running from in your own freaking mind. There's a Biden in here you have an opinion of, or a Trump in here, or whatever else. They're inside of you. So see the trapped energy that is the illusion of other people. See the illusion of other people. And I didn't even see Kathy's full thing, but I saw, I cannot accept how other people, those people only exist inside of you. So you keep yourself as a separate energy from them. And you say that they are separate from me. So you are a small person compared to what you actually are that's in reaction to them. So what are we doing? We're creating more of them. we're creating more of them, because all I am is the separate, smaller me from the entire vision of me. Let's go to an obvious example. When you're dreaming, are those actually other people? And is the you in the dream actually you? Or is it like a video game digital character in a dream running from people that you're creating? Do you understand the question? Kathy just said, there's so much more to what I said. I really can't get this. So my question to you, Kathy, is who's the I that can't get this? Who is the I? Where do we find this I? And where is this? What is this? I can't get this. And what if this is you and the I doesn't exist? I can't get this thing that I see. If you see it, wouldn't it have to be you? Who's the I that can't get it? That's the small self. The separate from you small self. There is no I that gets you. Everything you see is you. Everything you can picture is you. Everything in your mind is you. When you're dreaming, every part of that is you. I had a 2-hour meditation before I fell asleep last night. And then I dreamt I was holding Vivi and talking to a random woman that I don't think I knew. And then Bob Seger's We Got Tonight played, and I felt my actual body. I think I was actually having kind of a lucid dream. I felt my actual body cry out something. And it wasn't just like having a fun dream. I felt my body actually like fall and collapse and cry something out while I held Vivi and heard, we've got tonight. I don't know what it was, but I cried. And then I woke up and noticed I felt way lighter. Like the meditation was a buildup of the trapped energy that I watched kind of do this. And it's not that it did this, it's that I went from being responsive to the energy. My thumbs, I helped Vivi make the pumpkin. So this is from the pen. And being in response to trapped energy, to closing my eyes and seeing the trapped energy, and my awareness started to surround the energy, and it started to see itself, and then it started to see the observer, and it started to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden I was this much bigger picture with all of it. And what I believe is after that I went to sleep and the trapped energy fell out of my body. I felt so, I slept almost 0 last night, actually. And I felt incredible and worked out so hard and felt here and good and feel like less and less in the world can trigger me, which I believe creates a different world for me. Meaning like, not just like, oh, easy for you. You have a different world. So there's a lot more suffering. No, 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 no. The world, the literal world for me just changed around my release. Same for you. There's nothing outside of you that isn't triggering something unseen inside. The end. And our desire to keep the blame on the outside is our lack of willingness to look inside. Did you get that? There's literally nothing outside, whether it's an angry mother, whether it's all the shit going on in the world, whether it's craziness. I'm not saying there's not massive suffering. I'm saying we need to see what's trapped in our body and it will all change. If you believe what Bashar says, we're going through billions of parallel realities a second, right? So imagine that every second there's billions of you available to hop into, like animation, right? Like imagine that there's a you, there's still images. Like if you pull he says, if you pull a projector out and then you pull the film strip out, they're actually still pictures, but it flashes so fast that it looks like movement. So imagine there's a you available every second, billions of you per second, that are on different planets per second, where there's a more healed planet that you jump into, where there's a more oneness planet that you're jumping into, do you get what I'm saying? That there's a you, this is a mirror of you. So we get to either say, I'm in reaction to this external problem, which is a declaration to the animation. I want to stay small. My awareness believes that I'm trapped in the smallness of myself. Or, are you getting this? Or I'm going to really explore what's true and take the actual time. Like you got to work out to change your body, right? And you work out based on your awareness, by the way. Some people might work out and go, I can't do this because I'm this past story of addictions. And some people might go, no, I'm all that is. I'm a potential Arnold Schwarzenegger if I want to be. And you do what you believe based on your awareness. When you meditate, you up your awareness, and your awareness starts to give you evidence, and it goes, wow, I just had a fear about one thing. Then I noticed it's not a thing. It had my trapped energy. I saw the trapped energy. It moved from trapped energy to floating magical stardust, not Starbucks. It collapsed. I don't care now about the thing as much. I'm okay with death. I'm okay with whatever happens. And then all of a sudden its power over me goes, and then it goes. It stops being an actual problem, not only in your life, but at all. Is this making sense to you? Is there a world available where everyone's healed, everyone's needs are met? Is there a world available? There needs to first be a world available as far as you can see. And you don't just kind of separately picture the whole thing. You listen to God as God shows you that all of the fear, all of the sadness, all of the trauma in your body was an illusion that you moved from, that you responded to. Like, you know, if Vivi's awareness is a movie is real, like sometimes I'll show Vivi a movie, she doesn't understand actors yet completely or anything like that. And if she sees a scary scene, she thinks that's real. So her awareness is that's real. In her mind, we got to change that movie. Right? This movie's bad. But if she understands it's a movie, we don't. And it loses its power over her. And when it loses its power over her, it loses its power, right? So I want you to really picture that you might believe that things in the world right now are as they are. And if you believe they are as they are and that they trigger you, you are going to move from response to them. Right? You're responding to them. I want you to respond and listen to God. I want to offer you to not be in the response to what could be a hologram of an issue, and see how the issue changes if instead of listening to the problem or the person triggering you or what's wrong, you listen to God and watch as the universe starts to pull you out of all kinds of things that you were attached to. Glenn says, how do you do that in the moment? Great question, Glenn. It does it. So it does it. So here's how you do it. You merge with it. This is all meditation is. You merge with it. So right now, the more I meditate, the more I can almost completely debunk time now too. You know, when we're saying, when you have a feeling come up, don't judge it. There's not even a you to judge. And the longer you listen, the more it's like, who the hell's judging it? It's just a pattern that's judging it. There's not even a you that can judge it. The longer you listen, it starts dissolving the illusion of you. And it's, you know, we'll get some of that right now. I mean, we kind of just really jump-started this. But you really want to get into this. You know, obviously a person working out for 20 minutes once a week is going to have a very different response than someone who listens 2 to 4 hours a day and really listens. Like, to me, this is the only thing that matters. This is the highest truth. The other things matter, but I need to be the greatest version of me because I'm changing them by changing me, because there is no them. There's a them inside of me that I've been in response to. So imagine you have created inside of you, there's a outside of you that only you can see. So it's not outside of you, it's still inside of you. Everything you can see is still inside of you. And a you that actually is a separate you. Do you get this? There's nothing you can picture that is actually outside of you. There is an avatar of something outside of you that triggers you, that triggers a false separate you. Imagine that you're the whole diorama and you have a you inside the diorama. You go, this is me, a little paper you, and this is what bothers me. But it's not bothering you, it's bothering the smaller you. You have a false smaller you floating around that you think is you. It isn't you. Do you get this? You have a false, separate, smaller you that we're used to acting as if it's me. Anytime you're annoyed with anything, it's triggering your avatar of you, but not you. If it's just you, it is what it is. So take a deep breath in. And let's start with a little bit. We'll do some right now. And I want you to just notice everything, just everything that it wants to show you. And where is it coming from, by the way? What is it? And is there an end to it, or does it keep going? And notice all the things that you hope for that are inside of your mind, that you actually feel almost a limitation to until you see that outcome that you want. That there's a you going, I'm not enough until that outcome happens. But that outcome is inside of your diorama, and the whole thing is your diorama. The you in the future, your family, every image that you have inside of you. Every image you have, what you think is outside of you. Can you just observe that? If you see something that triggers something inside of your body, when it's you looking at you, can you have it trigger you and then notice and just kind of observe what feels triggered and just observe all of it? Like it's all existing within you. And just listen and be willing to do this wrong. And there's no you at all that can even do it wrong, because there's no right or wrong, but notice those illusions and just let yourself be completely confused right now and not understand this, and just every single thing. Person you're mad at, the world, your whatever food shortage you're worried about coming up. Why don't we heal this shit instead of like deciding these are the things coming? Why don't we see what it's triggering inside us? Because maybe it can trigger the thing. We see the truth that's under it. It moves from trapped energy to magical stardust. We cry out the life that had those problems. We change timelines to a world that has everything it needs. We bring more of our darkness to light. So the external world brings its darkness to light. Healing is just a part of it. We spent our whole life with this small avatar of ourselves, reacting to ourselves, thinking it's something outside of us.